My name is Father Regis Scanlon. I'm a Capuchin. I've been a Capuchin for over 50 years. I was ordained in 1972, but I took my vows in 1968. And I'm here to answer some of your questions. So we'll start with the questions. Okay, first one. Clare Holmes asks, are there any parts of Franciscan spirituality that come from St. Clare? The answer is yes. As you know, if maybe you don't know, but St. Clare, so the poor Clares started, the poor Clares, the help of St. Francis, of course, and their basic charism is contemplative. So her life helped inspire St. Francis, I'm sure, in some way, and it certainly inspired the Franciscan tradition, including the poor Clares in Franciscan tradition, to have an emphasis on contemplation. In fact, we Capuchins are the prime beneficiaries of this, because we Capuchins are called the contemplative Franciscans. The early Capuchins, each early Capuchin had to at least have 2 hours of meditation every day, preferably before the Blessed Sacrament, if they could do it. And all that is helped by her starting a contemplative group, a contemplative order. So I would say, I hope that's enough, but there's probably other things too, but you can't cover everything. But that's the main one, the contemplative aspect. Second question, from Greg Matchuk. What makes holy days of obligation binding? Why should we take them seriously? Well, why should they take the church seriously on anything? Because Jesus said in Matthew 16:19, whatever you declare bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatever you declare unloosed on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So Christ gave the power of keys to the church. The church can bind things beyond the natural and divine law. Eating meat on Friday. We were taught that if you ate meat on Friday, at least with kind of a contempt that I don't have to obey the church. Forget it. Why should I listen to the church? That was a mortal sin. People like to say, how could that be a mortal sin then? Not a mortal sin now. Well, it's because of certain things change with times. The church feels that the people of God need more penance, then she adds those things and she can bind them even seriously. For instance, when I was young, we wanted to go to communion. You had to fast from food and water. Can you imagine? Food and water from 12 o'clock at night till you received Holy Communion. I can remember walking with my mother. We used to walk two miles going to church every day in Pittsburgh, up and down those hills. Early in the morning, cold, snowing. And I would trudge after her, She was a good mother, led right, And I can remember this one day, I said to her, I can't go to communion. A snowflake got in my mouth. She said, that's not what that means. Yes, you can. But that's how strict that was, that you had to fast from from food and water till you went to communion. And of course, once they started having Mass at 12 o'clock, at 6 in the evening, well, you had to change that. Yeah. But the church felt that they needed the penance at that time. And the church can lift that. So the church reduced it to just 1 hour of fasting before receiving communion. Okay? And you can always have water, no matter when. Of course, these things which bind, whether holy days of obligation, whether fasting laws, they are church law. They don't bind like the divine law, natural law, in which there are no exceptions, which are absolutes. Okay? You can't have an exception to adultery. I have good reason to commit adultery. No. Or fornication. Or murder. You can't have an exception to that. They're absolutes. The end does not justify the means. No matter which your reason, you cannot do that. You must give up your life before you do that. But that's not the case. The holy days of obligation or fasting. If you're sick, you can eat. If you need to eat, you eat. Okay? If you're sick, you don't have to go to Mass on the holy day of obligation. You can be excused. You don't have to run and ask the priest either, I don't think. I mean, you can use your own judgment in this. You know, God's reasonable. He's not an ogre. He's not looking to make us sweat and take some skin off of us. You know, he loves us. Okay? And so, yes. But, you know, it is a serious sin if we have contempt for the church. We say, them and their fasting laws and these holy day of obligations. Nah, I'm not going to obey them. And that's often behind somebody who says, I'm going to sleep in. I don't give a crap. I'm going to sleep in. I'm not going to Mass today. Or I'm going to go to the football game I'm going to do the Super Bowl instead of going to Mass. I can't have time for that. That's a serious sin. Many will argue against that. But you better check it out, because the church can bind, and she does bind these acts seriously. Okay? All right.